With this video, I'm going to show you how to find the quotient of a certain number. The quotient is defined as number of positive integer less than n than the relatively prime to n. So remember, it's relative to n, prime to n. So by relative prime, we mean if m, n have GCD of 1, that means only common denominator is 1, then you will have this property. It can be useful to find the quotient of something. So m times n, they are relatively prime, then you simply multiply the quotient of these two together. So let's look at this problem. So number 4, then once again the number of positive integers are less than n and the relatively prime to n. Determine this quotient of 18. So now up down here, 18, let's see, equal to 2 times 9. And so do 2, 9, are they relatively prime? Yes. So because the GCD of 2 and 9 is 1, there's a relative to prime. It don't have to be anyone, both of them be prime number. They are relatively prime. There's no common divisor. That's the criteria for relatively prime. Or some people call it co-prime. So then therefore you can apply this. Quotient of 2 times quotient of 9. So quotient of 2 obviously is 1. And this one is 9. This is not a prime number. Therefore you must count. So what is it? Quotient of 1, 9. I'm sorry. And it's 1, 2, 4. These are relatively prime to the 9. So 5, 7, 8. Don't make a mistake like some did. They call it 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. That's a prime number below 9. Okay, that's not what we want. So we don't want this. We want relatively prime to 9. It's 1, 2, 4 is not a prime number, but it's relatively prime to 9. And also even 8 is not a prime number, but it's relatively prime to 9. So there are 6 of them. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. So 6 of them. Therefore, that's 6. Quotient of 9 is 6. So 1 times 6 equals 6. In fact, if you're not very sure, I don't mean you to just look up online. There were a lot of calculators online. You can just put in the number. It will show you what the number is. Okay, but of course, we want you to really understand why you get this number. Maybe one of these days you need to implement a function that calculates that. You have to know how to do that. So now, and a typical mistake is to do this. Actually, I see if you say, well, 2 times 9, and you further divide this 2 into 3 times 3, and then you say, well, that's 1, and then quotient of 3 is 1, 2, so there are 2, and another 2, and you get a 4. Okay, what's the mistake there? So the problem is this. If you read the theorem, that's a proposition 4 in the textbook or in the notes, and it requires that P is not equal to Q. So the multiplication inside here, these two numbers not supposed to equal for this whole. So this is incorrect. So the point here is, no, that is wrong. So the answer to this is simply 6. And this one, of course, quotient of 5 is that 5 is a prime number. Therefore, it's 5 minus 1. That is 4. Now, let's look at one more example. So it is shown that if GCD of mn equal 1, which means co-prime, and you have this. So now let's look at the 41. So how do you break that into 2? So then 41 is, and then you make it multiplication of 2 co-prime number is 41 times 1. So their GCD is nothing but 1. Therefore, 1 is just 1. So you have that's 41 is a prime number, so it's 4, and times 1, you get 40. So actually the answer is right here. And the idea of 90 is, again, you break into co-prime number, okay? Make sure it's co-prime, and these two numbers are not the same. So therefore, you do this, and then you have 2 times 45. So these are both are prime numbers, okay? So and then no, that 45 is not prime number, but they are co-prime. 2 and 45 are co-prime. So therefore, you can do 2 and totient of 45. So totient of 45, then 2 is give you 1, and then further 45 is a totient of 5 times totient of 9. So then totient of 5, again, we know is 4, and totient of 9 as above is 6, so therefore you get a 24. So a typical mistake is actually to further divide, further divide this into totient 5, and then that again is 3 times 3, and that's wrong. You cannot apply that multiplication rule above, and because this is not is co-prime. It's not a co-prime, okay? And also you cannot P is not equal to Q. You cannot do this. Okay, then if you really do this, you will get a 4 times 2 times 3 and times 2, and you will get a 16. So that's wrong. You get a 16. In fact, that's wrong. All right. So hope this helps. This is really easy. Actually, there are online calculator for totient. Okay. We really mean to not to puzzle you, but make sure you understand the meaning of these properties and these methods. Thank you.